Why hello, welcome back, I'm Ursa Ryan and this is heat number 3. I hope you're enjoying mini tournaments so far. I'm, quite satisfied with how things are going. I think with a bit of tweaking we're going to make some really good AI battles going forward, and as we play with mods and maps and different styles of doing it, I've got a couple of ideas of new tournaments we can do after this one, or maybe even just one-off battles. But remember, in the comments below you can always leave ideas of what you want to see, like if you want to see like a big Earth map, or if you want to see like a tiny archipelago. I don't know, why did I pick that as an example? I can't say the bloody word. Every time it's but we're going to jump straight to heat number 3 and into Robert Bruce of Scotland, who, the fact these guys can build golf courses is just exceptional. Like, I still love that. I really still love that. Golf courses. Who would have thought, eh? Philip II, who actually, you know what, given the fact that we're playing Deity AI and the AI is really strong with religion, these guys tend to be pretty good, actually. The combat strength they get against other players with religions is pretty nice. If they can get themselves a religion, generally Spain do pretty well. John Curtin of Australia, who I think, if I had to predict, I reckon these guys have got to be pretty high up the list of favourite civs for people to play. Like that 100% production boost if they get declared war on is just fantastic, especially if you're not too confident at the game. You know that as soon as anyone picks on you, you can just go and just let troops everywhere. And also the fact that they've got diggers late game and they've got extra housing on coast. I mean, honestly, these guys are they're really good. Catherine de Medici. Now, depending on how many wonders France can pick up, these guys tend to do pretty well. Like, the culture's pretty high, the tourism's pretty high. They can, as a civilization, progress pretty quickly based on what they build. So I'm confident France would do pretty well. And finally, Montezuma of the Aztecs, who are one of my personal favourite civs. I think Aztecs, I love Russia as well. Those are probably my two favourites to play, but the Aztecs are just that amenity boost. On a small map like this one is not going to be as prevalent as playthroughs we've done in the past, but if the computer remembers to do it, that 20% district cost builder charge is pretty damn good. So we'll see who wins. I don't know who I would expect to do best. You know, John Curtin's always pretty good. I reckon Australia might do pretty well here, but we'll see. I'm expecting that we should have a pretty close heat, so let's just jump straight in. So it looks like Norway have been put right in the top of the map this time, and actually they're going to get sandwiched, unfortunately, our settler AI. So let's just have a look. We've got Australia, top left. Actually, Australia has been given a lot of space, and a couple of production city-states sort of nearby. I can see down here we've got Auckland, and we've also got Brussels. So and immediately Australia putting that second city down. So yeah, Australia have got a good old start here. Spain right next to this desert. That might be a little bit unfortunate for them, but we'll see which way they end up settling. France right in the middle of the map. Now that could be a difficult start, but it depends if they utilise the space down south well. I think, yeah, France have got enough space. It looks like the third city they're going to start claiming the middle of the map with, which is pretty good. Scotland, we've already seen, have been settling up to the top of the map, and again it looks like they've got a fair amount of space, although no fresh water. Really lacking in fresh water for quite a lot of this map, which is a little bit of a shame. And then the Aztecs probably, actually, now that I look, have the most space out of everybody on the map. Now, that probably doesn't work well for the Aztecs, thinking about it, because they want to get those Eagle Warriors in play as quickly as possible. But look, behind them, they have an absolute ton of city-states. In fact, city-state corner over in the top right of the map, and already starting to be attacked by Scotland there. So Aztecs have a lot of land that they could take over very quickly in this map. Just in Paris getting a religion, yeah, already starting to build wonders down. We're just going to keep an eye actually for people who have religions. If Spain get one, I reckon they'll have a very strong game. So far, questionable settling has to go to Australia. Why? Why? Let's look at Australia. You've got this river that comes all the way down here, and then all the way down here. You've got this river that goes all the way up here. You've even got this river. Why did you settle on that one? What? It's in the middle of snow and tundra. It's not even on the coast. I mean, what? What are you doing? Actually, all civs very quick to get their fourth settler. Australia, Spain, and France all getting one. Oh, yep, okay, Scotland, the first people to take a city-state. Babylon has fallen. Interesting one, that. Actually, the science city-states tend to get left alone for longer, but no, that was the first to fall this game, which is an interesting one. It also looks like Scotland haven't bothered to build another settler yet. Oh no, there's one. I say that. There is a settler. So, fair enough. They are going to start pumping them out. The Aztecs haven't, though. Looks like they're going after Lisbon. These Eagle Warriors should make pretty short work of that, to be honest. The Aztecs and Scotland are actually at war, which is incredible. Now, that is really bad for Scotland, because these Eagle Warriors are going to chew through their warriors, and Spain has declared war on Australia. The important thing there, Spain declaring war on Australia. So Australia are going to start crazy pumping out troops now with their double production. In fact, look at the boldness of that warrior. I love it. Fantastic. Actually, it's probably because Australia have just settled in that middle ground down there. Something else just got taken. Yeah, the Aztecs have just taken Lisbon. So that's a city-state down for them. So Scotland on 5 cities, actually. They have settled Dundee up to the north, but it looks like they might lose that city to the Aztecs. The Aztecs probably won't be able to hold on to Babylon if they do take it, because loyalty-wise it's just too far. But if the Aztecs can settle another couple of cities along this river here, they should be alright. The Aztecs do take Babylon, and interestingly, they're going to have full loyalty on it. So that's a good pickup. Now, Scotland might take Babylon back, but if these Eagle Warriors can chew through more of these slingers, these slingers, that's a terrible pick for these Eagle Warriors, because these Eagle Warriors are just, basically, the reason I'm getting excited about them is if you take a troop with Eagle Warriors, you have something like a 2/3 chance to take a worker, builder, what am I talking about? Builder. So, there we go, we just saw it. So, the Aztecs are just going to be chewing through the army, and look how many builders they've actually started to produce. It means the Aztec lands are going to be completely worked and populated, and that's a really good thing for the AI. Sometimes they just don't build enough builders, so it's a good thing, that one. Norway has declared war on Scotland. That's a bold move, Norway. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 troops. I mean, okay, you go for it, Norway. Australia taking Vilnius, which is actually the difficult one. That was a military city-state, wasn't it? So that's an interesting one. Also, this natural wonder here, this Lake Reptba, that's been in pretty much every heat so far. I don't know what's wrong with the sort of city placement rules at the moment, or the map generation rules, but that wonder very quickly being put into the map. I'm just having a look. There's also like a New Zealand-like set of islands out to the left. We'll see if Australia or Spain spot that and settle on it. At the moment, it looks like Spain is just cranking out as many warriors as they can. You know, full credit to our lowly Norwegian player here. I mean, look at that. They've actually managed to do 1/3 of the damage to Edinburgh. They've lost their entire army, and now Scotland are sending swordsmen after them, so, you know, it still was an appallingly ill-advised move, but credit to you, Norway. That was probably better than we could have hoped that would have gone. France also declaring war on Spain. So Spain currently against Australia and France. This could be an interesting one. Will Spain ask for peace quickly? They probably will, because Australia, just their production is crazy. I mean, Sydney's taking a couple of hits because Australia aren't moving their troops around very well. Oh, the noise of destruction. Again. What just got taken? Oh, this city just got taken back, didn't it? Haddington has just been taken back. Oh no, hang on, it was this city. Babylon was the one that fell. Oh, it's up here. Sorry, Scotland have taken the Norwegian capital. There we go. Scotland and Aztecs have made peace. Now that is that's an important one, that, because A, it gives Aztecs a bit of free rein to attack all these city-states, but it also means, because of the Scottish-Aztec War, all of this land wasn't being settled because the two troops were fighting each other every time they came in. And if you've seen France have actually managed to push all the way along this river quite ably. Now, are they going to regret settling near the Aztecs like that, with the Aztecs having swordsmen near? Quite probably, but we shall see how that plays out. You can see Antananarivo. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Has been fallen to the Aztecs as well. So, generally speaking, at the moment, France in the lead on 7 cities. Actually, now that I look, Scotland also has 7 cities. Aztec with 6, Australia with 6, and Spain with 5. Although it does look like Spain are being besieged by France here. and still being attacked by Australia as well, so they need to be a little bit careful. They might start losing cities here. Speak of the devil, Norway very sensibly making peace with Scotland up to the north, but have you seen how well France is doing? Auckland falls as well. I mean, I don't know if France are going to be able to hold on to these cities in the long run, but Spain really starting to get squished now. They've gone from 5 cities to 3, and the French are now sending horsemen at them, and Australia are sending swordsmen at them, so Spain have got to be very careful here. Tech-wise, they're falling behind, and in terms of land and space and production, they're also starting to get crushed now. Little attacks like this, that's not going to help you, Spain. They're a lined crossbow just ready to repel you back. I mean, come on, Spain, sort yourself out. Oh my god, have you seen this? The Aztecs have a battering ram right next to a city. What's going on? Like, what? They're actually sensibly using a battling ram. A battling ram? A battering ram. I don't even know what it's called. Aztecs going to war with Scotland again, so looks like Aztecs are not going to go after these French cities, but they are going to go after the Scottish cities. We'll see how well they do. I mean, that Eagle Warrior that's an ambitious Eagle Warrior, that. I think you're going to get killed very quickly. Interestingly, Paris starting to get great engineers. That is a great sign for France. Really great sign. If French start to get production on their side, combined with all of the wonder skills, they can do really well. Oh, Norway. Caught between a rock and a hard place here. That's a really bad place to be. You're going to lose that city in 2 turns and you've only just founded it. I mean, I'm sorry. France making a very sensible peace with Spain there, which is really interesting. They're about to lose that city back, and that would have left Auckland incredibly exposed, so a very good diplomatic peace from France. Now, it's going to be interesting to see which way France turn their attention now. If they go north and go after Norway, they could easily take that city, but the French could also attempt to gang up on Scotland here while the Aztecs are giving them grief. Interestingly, Spain is attacking Brussels because Brussels is clearly an Australian ally here. And they're just hemorrhaging troops as they go along this coast and just keep getting bombarded by crossbowmen, and then Brussels is crossbowmen and ranged garrison strength. Like, that's really bad, Spain. You've got to stop doing that. Oh, but they have settled right on the south of the map. I mean, what a settle that is. Good God. They've got crabs. They've got, I think, is that fish? Yep, it's fish. Beautiful. Spain and Australia have made peace, and actually nothing really happened in that war. It just gave Australia a pretty decent production boost. Also, nothing really changing hands in this Aztec-Scotland match. Actually, it's pretty evenly split at the moment. It looks like Valletta is actually an Aztec suzerain, or suzerain of so yeah. If anything, actually, Scotland are pushing back. Oh my goodness, yeah, Babylon just falls. So Scotland are really starting to push back on the Aztecs here. Spain declaring war on Norway. I think Spain think that this direction is the only way their empire is going to push out. I mean, it does wedge them between the French and Australians a little bit, but it's probably not a bad idea from Spain there. Although, fortunately, I have a feeling Australia are going to run in and steal that city. Are they going to do it? Yeah, they're going to do it. Oh, actually, look at that. Australia take the city and liberate it. And actually, of course they liberate it now I think about it. They've now got another production boost for liberating a city. So, sensible play by Australia there. France also joining in on the Norway gangbang, unfortunately for them. Yeah, it's not going good. Norway, I mean, you didn't even really do that well this game. You're just kind of there. But it'll be sorry to see you go nonetheless. So with that couple of city takes, France have actually got themselves into a pretty amazing position at the moment. They are very much in the middle of the map, but they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 cities with another couple of settlers around. And they're going after Babylon, interestingly, as well. So French with a pretty decent army and a huge land base. It'll be interesting to see if France can stay out of group wars. Sometimes by being so large in the centre of the map, the AI does tend to pick on them, but we'll see how that works. France actually choosing to press the advantage and now go after Spain. Now, Spain again still looks like it's got a little bit of a tech problem in the sense that all of these warriors are lying around and with no swordsmen. Actually, it could just well be that there's no iron here. Yeah, Actually, now that I look, it doesn't look like Spain have any iron in the empire, so that's probably what it is. France actually lose that city, which is a shame for them. It probably means it's going to go to Australia now, but that's interesting. That's really interesting. So maybe these French swordsmen are going to have a bit of a whale of a time here. If Madrid falls, I mean Spain are in a really difficult position. The French just look like they're goading the Aztecs here. I mean, how close can we settle to their capital before they get annoyed? The answer, not much closer. The Scottish are actually pushing quite well here. The Letter, Aztecs' allies, have now been taken, and it looks like the Aztecs are being pushed back on multiple fronts here. So the Scottish with a pretty decent empire. Australia also declaring war on Spain, so Spain unfortunately is beginning to get surrounded by the combined Australian and French forces, and Madrid, its wall is almost down already now. That's an important one, especially because France have catapults in the area here. Yeah, that's tough. Spain are really between a rock and a hard place now. Spain also very kindly giving French new cities by settling behind the French lines. That's not going to last. Yeah, look at that, Madrid does fall, so unfortunately for Spain, they are really on the losing end of some problems here. They're going to have to pull their troops back and desperately try and defend this city here, Valladolid, because Bilbao is in the middle of the desert. That's really not going to be a city that's going to sustain them for long. Interestingly, this Free State did flip to Australia, but they didn't liberate it again. So they chose not to get that production bonus, which is an interesting one actually.